So another week goes by and another opportunity for Brent Venables and company to show college football they mean business on the recruiting trail. Today, we need to break down and talk about Oklahoma's newest member of their 2025 class, four-star safety out the state of Arkansas, Omarion Robinson, and why OU fans need to be real excited for this edition. Before we can, as always, y'all know the drill. I've got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Y for yes, N for no. Are you excited that Robinson joins the fold? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it. And if you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and comment down below. But with all that being said, let's jump right into this. And first and foremost, I have a special guest with me today. Jake, the people know you, but let them know where they can find all your great content.
What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. And yeah, hopefully by now you would know me because me and Ty do a lot of videos together. We're on live together twice a week. We'll see if that picks up in the future, Ty. We'll see. But yeah, for those who don't, my name is Jake Merrill, former player, Division I, Power 4, Power 5. It would have been Power 5 back then. Power 5 player. Coached and did some player skill development training, now more of a trainer and mentor for young athletes. So absolutely love it, and continuing to get into this interesting world of YouTube, everybody. So thanks to Ty, though. Thanks to Coach Sean. Thanks to Coach Smook, Coach Jay, even Bama Football on YouTube. We go back and we look, I had this opportunity to get on. Now I have this channel, and in the channel, you can search it either using my name down below, right there at Coach_JMayer, all capital letters, or you can search it by the name, Set the Tone, Alabama and College Football Talk. Come check it out. Appreciate always being on with Ty. So thank you, my brother, for having me on right now.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And appropriately named because speaking of setting the tone,
Boom.
ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're getting in Amarian Robinson. Now, let's talk about the who, right? One of the things I love doing, Jake, is whenever we break these videos down, I always start with the who. Who is Amarian Robinson? Well, he's the number 299 player in the nation per 24/7 Sports. Put a pin in that. He's the number 26 safety. Put a pin in that. And the number 2 player in the state of Arkansas, 6 foot, 171 pounds. Now, the reason why I say put a pin in that, Jake, every year I go through some players, and I think there are some guys that are going to absolutely fly up the board, right? I don't think this is where we will see him, I apologize, end up. Lotzier Brooks, one of those guys, right? Oklahoma has another safety in this class who I love, one of those guys. But Robinson dominated the camp setting. He's got the size, he's got the frame. Of course, you're going to want him to add a little bit more weight once he gets to college. That's very natural of high school defensive backs. There are only a handful in any recruiting cycle where they're 6'1" and they're carrying an adequate frame to really step in early and play. That's super normal that you're going to want to get him into a strength and conditioning program. You have Schmitty, someone who understands SEC strength and conditioning, coming back to Oklahoma from Texas A&M. One of the reasons why I think Oklahoma is going to be just fine is because they have a strength and conditioning regiment, Jake, that is SEC ready. And Schmitty was already one of the best before he ever went to Texas A&M. But then he got a personal understanding. This is what this league requires. Jake, this is super interesting. One, Robinson, huge win for Oklahoma. They further entrenched themselves as a top 10 team per the 24/7 Sports composite. I don't think they will finish outside the top 10. Brent Venables continues to kill it on the recruiting trail. But Brandon Hall, I think he deserves a lot of recognition. Jake, whenever we talk about Oklahoma, I think this safety room is one of the most loaded rooms on this defense. I love their linebacking room. We've talked about this time and time again. You and I have talked about this. I love Stutzman returning, huge. You have Jaron Kanik. You have Kip Lewis. You have Kobe McKenzie. You have Omashigo. You've got dogs in that linebacking room. Watch Kip Lewis. Y'all know how I feel about him, OU fans. Love all your guys, but Kip Lewis, I mean, that guy is so much fun to watch play. But this defensive back room is absolutely stacked. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put you in on a little secret that you may not have known. Jake played safety at the Division I level. So, Jake, I want to hear from you. What is Oklahoma getting with Omarion Robinson as he is set to fly up the boards, and he's also dominated some of the regional scene camps?
Oh man, I love it, Ty. Thank you for that kind of intro into that. 5'11, 185, 190 at a Parkview Magnet, Little Rock, Arkansas. Safety, Amarian Robinson. OR, baby. What's interesting, what stands out right away with him is just this tenacity to keep improving, this tenacity to get better, this tenacity in getting the little things right. We see that right in his at the 5-star rivals showcase where OR boom. We got to come up with a cool nickname for OR. I mean, I like OR. Sounds like but we got to come up with a good nickname. But at that showcase, I'll tell you this: MVP, defensive back, MVP. Okay, that's not just safeties. That's also cornerbacks. Interesting. I like it, man. Why do I like this? Why is it important? Why is Amarian such a good pickup, right, for Oklahoma? And what it comes down to is what Oklahoma is trying, and I guess what they've been doing, but what they're continuing to build on defense, right? They run this 3-3-5, a little bit of rotation between a 3-3-5 and a 4-2-5. They run more of a hybrid mix. You're seeing a lot of teams today on defense. That's the NFL with these bigger packages or bigger defensive back packages. Do the speed of the game, do the space. It's funny because it rotates, right? Defenses go from very focused on one thing back, where we kind of look at a 3-4, 4-3, then they rotate back out to being hybrid. Offenses do the same thing. They get in tight and they spread out. They get in tight and they spread out. Everything comes back, changes, right? Everything changes, but it all comes back around. So what's cool right now is we are seeing this game come back around from a defensive back galore standpoint. I love the fact that we are seeing these strong, versatile, fast defensive backs on the field. One thing with this 3-3-5, 4-2-5 system, something you're going to see with Zach Alley, defensive coordinator, who is a spitting image of Brent Venables, is you're going to see aggression. But what you are going to see, right, is that these DBs have skill sets to cover. Why? Because they run a zone pattern match type coverage. They are notorious. BV has ran that for a long time. Pattern match is part of his defense. That will not be changing with Zach Alley. Yes, you will see different calls, but really you're going to see basis of probably a rotation between cover 3, cover 2. You'll see some man 1 or cover 1, but man free. You're going to see some maybe quarters match. We'll see what they do with that one. Quarters match is an interesting one, right? But you're going to see split field coverage. It's going to be fun to watch. But in order to run that, you need guys who can man up one-on-one. You need guys who can play the game. This is what I love about Amarian, right? I mean, overall, you watch his ability. He's fast, he's quick, he's smooth in his movements, right? He plays with a lot of energy. Okay. With playing a free safety position, I'll tell you this is, the speed for him, right, is huge because it means he can cover ground, especially in this defense. You'll play a lot of single high safety, so middle of the field close as we would call it. You'll see that in this defense, you're going to want speed because you're going to need to cover ground. Typically in those style of defense, middle field close, you're running a cover 3, right? So he's going to potentially bracket on either side and have his deep middle. So it's going to be interesting to watch as we go through. I just love the way the guy breaks in the ball, the way he doesn't take a lot of false steps. Okay. Overall, his ball skills, high pointing, finding trajectory, but also understanding angles and assignments. And you know what? I'll tell you this. You got to say with one thing they are doing at Oklahoma is they're finding hitters. Like they want guys who are pumping the ball, right? Big hitters. They want the pipe hitters, baby. And I love it because as a safety, I was 6'3", 220, right? My game was bringing the hammer. All right. I watch guys like Sean Taylor. I watch these dudes from back in the day, Ronnie Lott, right? Like I like to see guys bring that hammer. And so not only do you got Marcus, right? I mean, sorry, whoops, I'm skipping. not only do you got Amarian, but you also got Marcus Wimberly.
Yep.
Marcus Wimberly, man. And I don't know if
Monster.
you're trying to get me to go that route, Ty. Do you want me to talk Marcus or not?
Yeah, yeah, because
Okay.
I think OU has done a phenomenal job at this safety spot in the class of 2025. And listen, they've done a great job since Brent Venables has taken over at identifying defensive talent, getting them in, guys that fit the scheme. But in this 25 class, I'm real high on both of the guys they've pulled. So talk to us about Marcus.
Yeah. So Marcus, right? Speaking about Amari and his cover skills, his abilities, just overall, really, really sound player. Excited. He should be shooting up the rankings for sure. We should. End of the year, we'll see some really good things out of him in the ranking wise, right? Especially after his recent camp performances. Then you got Marcus Wimberly. Okay, 6 foot, 200, out of I think it's called Bauxite, Arkansas. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I'm not the one.
Bakes it, great, box it. I think maybe it's Box It, Arkansas. Anyways, interesting enough, these two guys are both out of Arkansas, right? They both get them from the Arc. Okay, 2 safeties from the Arc. There's something about Arkansas players too. They're pretty tough nose. They got this grind. Oddly enough, you look back, some of the most famous coaches come from Arkansas. Bear Bryant's from Arkansas. Interesting, right? There's some like Arkansas kind of the people of Arkansas. They got this like mindset, man. There's something about it. I'll tell you, right? There's a couple different places we can speak on, but both these dudes are from Arkansas. Okay, I like that. One of the things with Marcus, man, is I think he's just a workout warrior, right? Like he's fun to look at. He's a great player in general, but he's fun to look at from on film, right? He goes out there and he is that dude who is working his butt off every single day. Okay, he's going out there, he's putting that time in. I think it's phenomenal when you get to see a guy like this. I wonder where he would play. Obviously, it's going to be safety, but is he going to play in a safety role closer to the line of scrimmage, right? And I don't necessarily know how they play, how they name those. I know there's one role, and
you got your cheetah, which is a little bit different than what we're talking about. Yeah,
it is a little different, but could Marcus play it? Just because they've now changed kind of the style. They've gone away from like bigger bodied. Because you saw the last one of the guys we had talked about. I talked about this at Horns Down podcast. Great podcast if you haven't tuned in. But Dasan, right? McCullough, he was playing that cheetah. Now they've moved him to his traditional like linebacker position. So because they want to go a different route with Cheetah instead of having like, because Dasan's a great player, but I mean they wanted to go a different route maybe than this bigger linebacker hybrid. Maybe they want to go. It's funny because you have linebacker safety hybrid, which is more of a linebacker body style. Then you have the safety linebacker hybrid, so more of that safety style, but can still come up and hit. You almost wonder if Marcus Wimberly is a guy who fits that position really well because he is a thumper. Like that guy. That again, both these dudes are hitters. Both these dudes are really smooth in their movements. Marcus, I think what I like about him is just like he has that mindset of grit, right? And in general, from what I've heard, what I've been told over Unfair Sports, talked about this a little bit, but they had said like he's just a really good dude. Like he comes from a really good background. One of the things that also stood out for me with Omarion Robinson is Amarian had brought up the fact that faith was a big part of the program there. I love that, man. I think that's super cool. I think that's a great way to bond people on too, is faith, because when you can go out and you can do it together and have like a good foundation, right? Of, I say all the time, faith, family, and football, but make that real. Guys feel that. And I think you're seeing that overall with Oklahoma's class. I mean, not only are the coaches amazing and what they're doing there, I mean, they're putting together everything you need to be successful in the SEC. Put it that way.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what you need to do to be successful. Not only do you need to subscribe to this channel, but then you need to hop on over to Jake's channel. Jake, what was that one more time?
Yeah, set the tone. Alabama and college football talk. We might just change it to college football talk in general because I talk everything. I love Alabama, but I have a lot of respect for all these programs. I enjoy learning about Oklahoma a lot. just especially what they're doing. But there's a lot of storied past of Oklahoma, and there's a winning tradition there, a rich winning tradition. Man, it's just fun, man. I love football. Come check it out.
Let's set the tone over on YouTube. Go check it out. And be sure to hit the like and comment down below what you think about the newest addition for Oklahoma and what you think about Brandon Hall, who personally, I think he's killing it for the Sooners, has done a phenomenal job on the recruiting trail. But until next time, that's it. See ya.